Groundhog's Day, everybody. Yeah, happy Groundhog's Day, everybody. Hey, happy Groundhog's Day, everybody. Wish there was a word for like that feeling you get when the same thing just happens over and over and over again. But hey, happy Groundhog's Day, everybody. Groundhog's Day is interesting. A little fun fact for you. It's not an American idea, right? It's actually a German idea. In the late 1800s, early 1900s. And look, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I'm not certain that early 20th century Germany is who we should be taking society advice from. Something seems a little fishy with those guys. If you like those ideas, we do have a couple others. Not all of them are exactly kosher. Talking about daylight savings time. I also did daylight savings time, which is as stupid as taking your weather advice from an animal, right? Because daylight savings time, the farmers don't need it, right? Combines are just giant Roombas at this point. They just go up and down, right? The only thing the guy has to do in the cab is make sure that Garth Brooks keeps slapping on repeat. Lick on the roots, show it up in boots, ruin your black tie affair. Now I can't do any more, otherwise Teehees is gonna owe him a little royalty. So I know a lot of you small towners clenched up and they're like, get to it. Screw it, Dave's good for the money. I've got friends in low places. Oh, okay, a couple joined in. That's halfway. See, I get it. It's a little weird because I don't look like a guy that would know the lyrics to that song. Right? I understand, right? I look like a creatine pill got lost at a Fall Out Boy concert. It's a very specific look. I look like I went into the stalls and then just Narnia'd myself into the present for some reason, right? Where is your boy tonight? I also can't say not one because Dave's not good for the money either. What I don't look like is what I actually am, though, is from a small town. Any small towners out there? Yeah. But any, like, actual small towners out there? Yeah, like the poor ones we're talking about. Okay, if your town's population had a comma in it, you're out, okay? Our bank accounts don't have commas in it. Okay, our populations settle in like our credit score, a gentleman's 360. Okay, the only thing 5 digits is the zip code, guys. It's the only thing 5 digits. I know some of you guys clinch up a little bit too when I say the word poor. Okay, I could call them veterans if you would prefer, but I'm not sure that's helping my case, right? I can say that, bro. I grew up in a trailer, okay? That's first class to welfare, guys. I have a Kid Rock tattoo. Okay, that's TSA pre-check for the schools buying my lunches every day. So. You can always tell the small towns. It's very, very easy. You drive by it, just check the sign. The signs are always there, right? You drive by one of those nice ones, commas in the population, Nevada, Iowa, birthplace of your family. That's pretty nice. Set up shop there. Go 5 minutes down the road, where I'm from, Colo, Iowa, birthplace of unpaid child support. Brother, that doesn't even make any sense, right? The mascots are weird too, right? You go Nevada, we're the Cubs. It's not like whimsical creatures. Okay, the mascot for us was just my Uncle Kenny. Okay, he wears one of those like neck braces from a frivolous lawsuit. And then the school motto is just him slapping back Steve Weisers and sucking down lung darts, being like, they didn't fake the moon landing, brother. They faked the moon. The signs are always there. It's also weird being from a small town because you gotta wear a lot of different hats, right? And a lot of things served multiple purposes. You would go to your post office, which was your library, which was your fire station, which was your Casey's. And you would buy your dinner for the night from a guy that you called your uncle, but genetically, as the crow flies, he is your cousin. Uncle Kenny. And it's like the mayors are weird there too. They have to do that. The only thing weirder than being a small town mayor is being the guy that has to tell the Amish what happened. Like, there's a guy whose job that is, because otherwise, how else? How else? These are deeply religious people. I'm not making fun of them. Everybody believes what they want, right? Me, born and dying a snake handler. But I get that not everybody wants to meet the Father, the Son, and the Holy Poltergeist on the wrong end of a copperhead. I get that, man. But these Amish men, they come to town once a month and they find out. And if there's not a guy there, you can get into some weird situations. Don't believe me? March of 2020, right? Guy shows up into town for his weekly grocery run and he's like, oh my God, it finally happened. And this is the only thing that they know to do. So they're like, hey, Yoder clan, did you get raptured? No? Oh, it's so close on that one. It's so close on that one. Thought that happened. Being from a small town is great too. The one thing that I knew about growing up in a small town and was poor was I could watch any horror film and not be affected by it at all. I'm talking all of them, brother. Gashers, goopers, slashers, creepy old grannies, young little, doll thingies that are scary. And my favorite ones, Something's Wrong with the House. Love those movies. And here's why you know. Ghosts don't haunt poor people. They don't. Check Hollywood. Okay, there's never some guy like going to bother your Uncle Kenny in his trailer because, quite frankly, after the Sacklers and Pepsi got done with him, what does he have to lose? A ghost is gonna bust in there and be like, boogity boogity, and he's like, don't you threaten me with a good time. I'm pre-diabetic, so we're going to need to make a stop at the Casey's. No, ghosts don't harm poor people, and so I can always watch those movies. And my favorite ones, man, Something Wrong with the House. There was always one flaw in there, though. It was always like the most Hollywood line. And I always hate this, right? Because in Hollywood, they're like, two dudes standing there, and they're like, hey, man, I think something's wrong with this house. And the other guy, it's always the most Hollywood answer. He's like, is it the fact that homeownership is the American dream, but that hasn't really been true since the early 1990s when they upped the interest rates, and most people believe that you actually get ahead on the house, but really if you just rent it for the same time and factored in the fact that you have to pay insurance and taxes and anything that else is wrong with the house, that in the long run you're going to end up actually having more equity at the end of the 5 years. Is that what's wrong with the house? Some of you homeowners out there are like, oh no. He's right. All right, guys, I've been Justin Spade. Thanks so much. Give it over, Justin.